Hello guys, this is Alcky speaking, and
Oh, fuck, my bad.
hey guys, it's Alcky, and this is LOWKEY MTL.
Prochaine station.
LOWKEY MTL.
Alcky Rasta, bro. It's good.
How you doing, mate?
I'm good. I missed you.
Miss you too, bro.
Welcome back to Montreal.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You've been back for a while, but this is like the first, every time I see you, I'm pretty lit. So I don't get to actually catch up.
Of course,
So
of course.
using my podcast is the best excuse.
It's definitely a good opportunity for us to catch up
Yeah,
on a sober way.
exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a DJ, but recently you went to Hong Kong and you became you've been doing regular DJ gigs there and stuff. So, walk me through that. How did that all happen?
What people do is they would travel abroad to go study and so on and so forth. That was the initial plan, was to just go there, just study, finish up some semesters, some credits and all that. I had some expectations of, maybe getting some gigs every now and then at some places. Before I even got there, I met some people.
How did you meet people? Before going there, you just kind of how did you find those people in Hong Kong?
Yeah, of course. So when I went there, there's kind of an exchange group that I got with from my university.
And a Facebook group or something?
Yeah, Facebook group.
Okay.
Exactly. So from there, I met them.
Yeah.
And there's COVID going on, right? So it was basically Hong Kong was basically all the locals, and you did have a few exchange students every now and then. So I was kind of connecting with the exchange students.
Okay.
But as much as you're connecting with the exchange students, you're also trying to find your own path. So
Yeah.
I was also going out, meeting some new people, locals, so on and so forth.
When you got there right away, you started going out?
Yeah, actually I did. So I got there in January. I quarantined for 3 weeks.
You have to quarantine when you get there?
Yeah, exactly, for 3 weeks. And it's kind of a hassle because you're in a room for 3 weeks, 21 days.
When did you get there again?
January 15th.
January. So at that time, Montreal was super locked down and you couldn't really do shit.
Exactly. So I left at just when the lockdown started, actually.
Right, yeah. Okay. And when you went there, was the lockdown as crazy or was it more open there?
No, it was really...
You just have to do the quarantine and then it's back to normal kind of?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit funny though, because in Asia, they always wear masks to the air pollution.
Mm-hmm.
So we're there, it's a normal thing to wear masks. Everyone's wearing masks, so on and so forth. But usually when you go inside, you wouldn't have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
So it's a bit funny that
you don't have to, but yeah, like you said, when you're at the airport, you always see them with a mask on.
exactly. So you have to wear a mask everywhere you go.
Right.
Outside, you're walking around, go to shopping malls, restaurants, so on and so forth.
But it's not mandatory. You don't have
It's mandatory.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, you have to not go over here.
Okay.
But the funny part is that the only place that you can not wear a mask, you're allowed to not wear one, are in clubs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so
it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. You want to see the people's faces.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. So when you're in a club, you can take it off, you can dance it out, and that's fine.
Okay. And when you're leaving the club and you're all wasted,
you have to put it back on. Yeah, if you're not wearing masks outside, you have cops chasing you and stuff.
No way. Do you get fines and shit? Or?
You do.
Okay.
But another thing about Hong Kong is that they're very lenient to the expats and tourists.
Okay.
They're very, very relaxed with you. So you're a lot less likely to get in trouble compared to a regular person who lives there, let's say.
Okay.
When I got there, actually, it's funny because initially all the stuff were closed down. Oh, not closed down, but they were a bit limited. So bars were open till midnight when I first got there.
Was there a capacity or something?
There was a capacity as well for most places. And then gradually as time went on, things started opening.
Okay.
Clubs started opening. They're opening till 2 a.m., then 4 a.m., then 6 a.m. So we kind of lived through that whole edge of it becoming more and more open.
So you kind of went at a good time.
It was a good time, and also it was a good rhythm to slowly experience things.
Right.
So we first got there, we were at the bars till 2 a.m. It was fine. But then maybe a month later, they mentioned the news out, oh, we're opening the clubs till 4 a.m. And then it was more news, and it was getting better and better.
People were getting vaccinated there at the time?
They weren't vaccinated, but you needed to have this application so that wherever you go, you have to scan at the entrance, a little code.
Like a COVID passport?
Not like a COVID passport, more, well...
Was it a QR? Was it a QR?
It was a QR code, yeah. Okay. but I wouldn't compare it to a COVID passport.
People have QR codes, but it's not for vaccinations. It's just more to keep track of people.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Exactly. But then eventually what happened was, while I was there, they had people started getting more and more vaccinated. This was about in like March, April, let's say. And by then they kind of required you to have a vaccination to go to clubs.
Okay.
Or even to just work in general. As an employee who's not vaccinated, you could go up to like 10 years in jail.
Oh shit! In Hong Kong,
Yeah.
As like a tourist. Or
it's very, 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 very strict in Hong Kong.
Oh damn! Okay.
That's why it's doing good in some ways. Like it's,
So are there any like anti-vaxxers there?
Good question.
Because like you know how here like there's so many people like against the whole vaccine passport and all that stuff. Like I feel like in Hong Kong it's just such a like environment and like system that like people just don't bother to even like fight it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't even think of fighting it.
Of course. I don't think there's a vaccine protest, anti-vaccine protest.
Okay.
I think because their focus is shifted more towards other things, like the political situation in Hong Kong. Like if there's any protest, it's 90% because of that and not anything else.
Right.
And I think in regards to the vaccine, like, there's not much that I heard about. So I don't think so.
Okay.
There wasn't, and I haven't seen any protests about anti-vaccine over there.
No.
And I think that if there was an anti-protest vaccine, it would kind of build like two sides of Hong Kong, like one side that thinks this and one side that thinks that.
You don't feel there's two sides there?
Usually there's only like one side. If anyone disagrees with it, the justice will take care of it in whatever way it is possible.
Oh, really? That's
cool. So for example, with the protest, when they're trying to like,
I don't know what this protest was for. Like, I don't really know about the political situation there.
Okay. Good question. So basically, Hong Kong got took over. Okay, this is also like not sure exactly, but anyways, fuck it.
Yeah,
but
who the fuck is gonna watch it?
Yeah, no. Just like let you know which one's supposed, which one's not supposed. But like Hong Kong, basically, they kind of got colonized at some point by the UK.
Okay.
And they were having a lot of implementations of laws and policies by the UK. And what happened was, it was kind of like independent in a way from China.
Okay.
But eventually, with time, China kind of wants to take over back of Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And then that's why they're having all these protests, like, oh no, I don't want this, I don't want that. So from there, they're kind of like protesting so that China doesn't retake over Hong Kong.
Oh, okay.
So if they were to take back over,
so Hong Kong is not really a part of China.
It's a bit complicated.
Okay.
It is, but it's not.
Okay.
There's a word for it to describe what it is. I'm not sure what the word is, but it's just like a special thing.
It's its own thing. Okay.
It's unique.
Yeah. And like, I feel like a lot of that has to do with the people in power and like the amount of power they have to be able to like separate like a state like that. Or is it, I don't know if Hong Kong's a state. I'm really bad with geography and shit.
It's they consider it as a city.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
as a city and as a,
Yeah, because I was surprised. Like, I was seeing your snaps and like I just saw like the crazy parties that were going on there. I was like, damn, this is like considered China. Like they saw, especially during COVID, like all the rumors you hear about China and like. What about like the social media and internet use there? Like, are you on their like WeChat thing?
Of course. So Hong Kong compared to China is a bit different.
Okay.
If you're talking about China, let's say, there's a lot of applications that are kind of like illegal to use. TikTok's illegal. Facebook is illegal. Yeah. But that's why everyone's using VPNs over there. Like literally everyone uses VPNs.
No way. Okay.
Yeah. Hong Kong is different though. Hong Kong, you're allowed to use these applications. TikTok, I'm not sure. I don't use TikTok, so I'm not really sure if you could or not. But yeah, China, they banned like most things, to be honest. I think, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, like they can't use it.
So, but like, are people using VPNs in like,
Hong Kong?
Well, not Hong Kong, like in other parts of China. Have you been to other parts of China?
No, you cannot go out of China while I was there, you couldn't go out.
Yeah, okay. Did you want to though?
Of course. It was so close by. We kind of got like a peek of it. We like walked to the border and like kind of look at the skyline of the cities in China. They were super nice, but yeah, you couldn't go.
How does the border look like? Is it like crazy lockdown?
It was kind of like crazy lockdown, and
like
it's
sniper razors.
No, not at that point. Just like a lot of like guards like standing out, this and that, and no guns or anything, but just it looked pretty strict. Let's just say, and it's funny because just behind the border you see like the whole city. Because from Hong Kong, if you walk north, if you go up north, maybe like a few kilometers, you have this city called Shenzhen. Which is also a very, very nice city that's been built there within the past like 20, 30 years. Okay. And we kind of had a view of it, but we just couldn't go because, couldn't cross the border.
Right, yeah. But it's crazy that you're like so close at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to see like, cause like all the media was showing like, how like China is going crazy and like everything's crazy. And then I would look at your stories and like, I'm like, oh, it looks like everything's back to normal. Everybody's just DJing it out.
Well, I think it's a bit of a facade in the way that, you know, you post things on the internet, you're posting the best parts of yourself, but that's exactly, you just posting the highlights of your life. But at the end of the day, that's just one reality, right?
Yeah. But
that's
what
the
about
whole...
like, okay, like that street, remember that street where like everybody's just passed out all the time?
Yeah. Like, that, bro, honestly, I've never been to a nightlife as good as that place, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Like my whole life, bro. Like I think my friends and I, we always talk about it. We're like, yo, we're going to miss that place so much. It's so much fun. It's called LOWKEY. And basically, think about it this way. You have like, compared to Saint Laurent Street. Okay. No, actually, no. I'd compare it more to like Crescent Street. It's a bit more narrow.
Okay.
The cars can't really pass, like they have like one row for the cars. And
like cars choose not to really drive through.
It rarely, bro. Yeah. Like it's so busy. There's like taxis sometimes, you know, and all that, cops and everything. But that spot, it's like Crescent, maybe like 3-4 times Crescent, the size of it. Yeah. But within that spot, there's like maybe 50 clubs and like 50 bars.
Okay. And are those all the clubs and bars in the city?
No, but it's a big part of it. Okay. There's also other areas like Soho and other places of Hong Kong, but that's like the main spot. And it's like every weekend we're there, it's like, yo guys, full send at LOWKEY. Yes, every weekend, bro. Every week actually. Like every day we'd go there, bro. Like it's just like it's so much fun, bro. And
so you kind of went there solo, right? So like who are the people you met there? Like are they all exchange students as well?
Yeah, so I met like a lot of people there. First of all, the exchange students, that's when I first got there. I met them and we got along, this and that. A lot of them from France, a lot of them from Europe, Turkey, so on and so forth. So that was fun. What happened was actually I met a friend the first night I was in Hong Kong. I actually got back, I left my hotel, I went back to my Airbnb for the first time and I was in like 2 hours of sleep. And then she like texted me the first night I was there. And then she was like, yo, we're having a party at some like park, you know, super nice park. And then she was like, want to come out tonight? And I was like, You're
like, parks, Beaver Lake's my thing.
Yeah. Bro, it's actually like Beaver Lake, but on steroids, bro. It's actually...
That's so cool because like, I remember chilling with you at Beaver Lake and then I see you in Hong Kong, like you have your own, you created like a whole other Beaver Lake situation.
Yeah. It's called Tamar Park.
Was that the spot kind of look like Mount Royal where you're looking at it to see?
No, that's Victoria Peak. That one's like Mount Royal. Yeah, that one's a bit different. Okay. Tamar Park is more like a park by like the harbor. Okay. And you have all the views of the building. Okay. And it's like, we have parties like every fucking week, bro.
And like public drinking is chill there? Like,
because we're not from there, they're very chill with us. Okay. Like there was days that there was still COVID going on. Yeah. And we'd throw parties with like 50 of us, like 60 of us outside, speakers, drinking and shit. And
where did you guys get speakers from?
We bought some over there. Okay. Some JBLs.
Like big enough speakers to like throw like a fucking like DJ thing?
No, not that big. Okay. Well, there were some guys from like Germany that had speakers that were like big for like raves and all that. Yeah, they were there for like a few years, so they were having parties like with big speakers and DJ sets.
Really DJs every now. As well?
Yeah, the DJs as well. We had a few gigs. The thing is, over there in Hong Kong, bro, like I always compare Montreal to a small piece of cake and a lot of people eating the cake, whereas Hong Kong, it's like a big piece of cake and there's like not enough eaters. So what I mean by that is in Montreal, you have like so many DJs. You could walk around the street and like go on Crescent Street, meet some guy. He'll probably be a DJ. Yeah, like for real. Kind of artist, or some kind of artist, you know? Yeah. Everyone's a DJ, like so many DJs out here, but there's not enough venues, I find. So you kind of have to like fight for it based on connections and experience and credibility and so on and so forth. And Hong Kong, bro, it's a complete opposite. That's one of the reasons why I was kind of at an advantage is because there's just so many places to play at and there wasn't like that many DJs.
But you also have to know the right people, right? Like, cause you probably met certain people that allowed you to have like, cause I remember you were doing like very like regular gigs at like clubs and stuff.
So that actually started off, I know earlier we were talking about a gym at 45.
Yeah.
So I used to go to F45 in Hong Kong. Okay. I tried it out. I liked it. And what happened?
It's international.
It's international, yeah. There's like 1,000 of them in the world, maybe like a few hundreds, you know? Yeah. I met this guy over there who was the DJ of the gym. Jamie. Shout out to Jamie. But I met him and then we spoke for the first time. I was, oh yeah, you know, I play as well, this and that. Basically we became friends and we're hanging out every now and then, going for drinks and all that. And eventually what happened was he introduced me to another guy. And this guy was part of he owns a production company.
Like an event planning
company in Hong Kong, like a huge thing.
Okay.
And yeah, he was a great guy. Really, like these two guys, like they changed the whole trip for me, honestly.
Okay.
I had my first show at a bar called Dead End.
Okay.
And I'd compare it kind of like a McKibben's maybe.
Okay.
Like something like that, but nicer, I would say.
Yeah.
And in Lang Kwai Fong as well. So it was on a Friday. And what happened was when I got the gig, I mentioned it to all my friends about it, for all the exchange students.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh wow, that's cool. You're playing at a club in Lang Kwai Fong." I invited everyone, and literally like everyone showed up. Because when you're exchange student, they just want to party every time,
Yeah.
So compared to Montreal, if you're like studying and stuff, like, "Oh hey guys, want to go party tonight?"
Yeah.
Like, "Oh no, I gotta study,"
Yeah.
But there, if you ask them want to go party, they say like what time, like where, like they're onto it,
They're literally not in their home country, so
exactly
they want to party and experience everything.
Exactly. So that's what happened. And the first gig I had, it was just like jam packed, like it was like full. So I think I would say it kind of left a good impression on them.
For sure, yeah, because you're bringing in a crowd. Are there like multiple like event organizers like this in the city, or?
There probably is, but we were like definitely like the biggest one.
Okay. Cool.
Like he got in contact with all the best clubs in Hong Kong.
Okay.
So it'd kind of be like, imagine if this was Montreal, it'd kind of be playing La Voûte one night, playing École on the next night, then playing, I don't know, Apartment. Then after that, playing at like Subois or something. Like it was just New City Gas even. Like literally the best clubs like every night.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hectic though.
Were you like nervous and shit?
I think the only time I was nervous was like my first like big gig.
Right.
It was just like a bit nerve wracking. Like it was a big event, like a big club, and yeah, it's normal to be nervous sometimes, so.
Yeah, for sure. So like, were you like, did you have to do like crowd reading and stuff at one point? Because you got to kind of read the crowd, right?
Yeah.
So you got like better at reading crowds and stuff like that.
Yeah, reading in crowds. In Hong Kong, I find the music taste a bit behind. So they're really,
even if it's like the crowd that you're bringing in,
the crowd that I'm bringing in, they're more like international and all that. So like they like whatever, honestly. Like they like house, they like techno, they like EDM, all that stuff.
Festival music.
Exactly. But in Hong Kong, I find the people out there, they're very into like EDM, like 2014, Tiesto, Martin Garrix, all that stuff. So they love hearing that shit. They love that. They love psytrance. They basically like to get fucked up. They like to hear like heavy music.
Okay.
I played some Rez. They liked it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's dope though. Rez
yeah.
Dope.
And then over there too, like I said, the place is very densed out.
Yeah.
So you, not like Montreal, over there you can go to like 5 clubs in one night. And that's what it was like every night. You go to like 5 clubs, 5 bars a night. Yeah.
So there's there's no waiting in line and stuff like that to get in?
There is, but it's a lot like more efficient, a lot faster.
Okay.
And there's so many clubs, like I said. So it's kind of like, if there's so many clubs, there's never like any place that's like too packed,
Would you go back?
I'm probably going to go back, honestly.
Oh,
yeah.
But what about like the owners of the club and stuff? Like have you met owners of clubs? Like I wonder like who's at the top of like the clubbing there, or if you come into contact with them, or like if you're just going through the event planning companies.
No, I met all most of the owners of the clubs as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you end up meeting them eventually. Some were nice, some were chill, some were a bit meh,
But do they seem like party goers and stuff?
Yeah, most of them.
Businessmen?
Half.
Okay.
So like the ones that are party, I think being an owner of a club and having experience with like organizing parties, it helps a lot because you know how parties work out.
Exactly. Yeah.
But there was some clubs that were kind of owned more like by corporate businessmen.
Yeah.
For just like for the profits and all that.
Right.
And those clubs, it seemed like they didn't know what they were doing, and they were kind of like testing things out. They were kind of new to the game, so they had the funds to generate events, but they didn't know how to diversify. Yeah. And they didn't know how to like diversify their money into like efficient. They didn't. What's the word? They didn't know how to
diversify their money.
How do you like when you say like put the money in different sections?
Compartmentalize.
Anyways, fuck it. Yeah.
Compartmentalize their money.
Yeah, there's a word I'm looking for, but I can't remember what it was. But basically, they didn't know how to like put their money in the right spot.
And so as you're DJing, you're getting like more and more confidence and stuff. And like, what would be like? Do you have like a memorable like experience DJing, or like did you have like an outer like what do you call it? Like an imposter syndrome, because you're like in Hong Kong, you're like DJing clubs. Like
Mhm.
that must be crazy, right?
Yeah.
Did you feel like that at any point, or like you had like imposter syndrome?
What's imposter syndrome again?
So it's like when you're experiencing something and like you can't believe it's actually happening. You don't feel like it's real.
Yeah. That happened like a lot of times, bro.
Oh yeah.
And I always try to like be more present in the moment and like really enjoy the moment
Right.
as much as possible. But there was just like too many moments of like awe where I was like, what's going on? You know, like at some point I was like DJing in a it was a rave in the jungle or like an island.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it was like some tribal stuff. And I basically asked the guy if I could just jump on stage with him. And he was like, yeah, sure, jump in, you know? And I ended up doing back to back with him for like half an hour. And
did you have like a USB on you?
that's the thing I learned also, bro, is whenever I go out, now I always bring a condom and a USB, bro. Like all the time.
I love it.
And if I'm actually DJing, I would bring like 2 USBs and the hard drive just in case. Cause I've had some times too where one show I had was, I had a show once and luckily it wasn't a big show. And I was with my other friends, my other DJ friends. We're part of this organization called Currents.
Okay.
And what happened was I was supposed to DJ and then I was jumping onto stage, but then my USB wasn't working. So I told my friend about it. I'm like, yo, can you just take over for a bit? And I'm literally going to go back to my hotel, like take an Uber there and then come back. So I had a lot.
How long would that take you?
Took about an hour and a half, I would say.
Oh, fuck, okay.
And I had like a crowd waiting for me at the show. So now we know to bring like 2 USBs just in case.
So did you notice like strangers starting to get to know you and stuff because of you DJing? Like, did you have like a different level of like attention?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what happened was Hong Kong's not really a big place. It is, it's very populated, but the people that go out are the same people. So you might recognize them all the time.
Okay.
So there has been times where I'd walk around either Lang Kwai Fong or just Hong Kong in general. And I would have people say, oh, hey, you're the DJ, you know, where are you playing tonight? Like, can I come to your show? This and that. Or I had times where I was at a club and I had people say, oh, you're the DJ. Let me buy you a shot or let me buy you a bottle or just stuff like that. You know, like they're very, very, very generous out there. And I'll always appreciate it.
What was the place called?
Lang Kwai Fong.
Lang Kwai Fong. So have you had an experience where you like, because I feel like if I was there, I would have to like end up on the street one day. You know?
Of course.
Yeah. You passed out.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, a few times.
Did you do that like knowing you're like, okay, tonight's gonna be the night I'm gonna pass out?
Yeah. Like there's been times where it's like me and my friends, we had like a deal that's like, we have a few like group of friends that say, and we said like, okay, we need to have like one of us like get posted on the page one day, you know, on the.
Oh right, there's like a.
It's called LKF, like Lang Kwai Fong Meltdown.
Okay.
So basically what it is that it's a very clever idea. They just post like people on the streets like passed out all the time. And it's so normal over there to be like passed on the streets that like when you see someone like lying down on the streets, you just like walk past them like it's fine.
No
but
way.
It happened when I came back here actually. I went to a bar, in Longueuil.
Okay.
Yeah. To see my friend, whatever. And what happened was that night, there was a girl who was like passed out in the washroom and everyone was like, fuck, what's happening? You know, the cops came and all that. But for me, I'm like, it was so normal to me. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. I'm like used to it now, you know?
Yeah. So like, is there any people dying on Lang Kwai Fong?
Dying, no, but ambulance coming to pick them up, quite often.
So it's like a cleanup crew. They just come
like every time, bro. I'm not even kidding, man. Even on Thursdays, on Sundays, you would see someone in the streets, like just passed out and, bro, you should post them on the podcast, man. Like there's some crazy shit, man.
Yeah. I went through the page. I saw like a few things. But you guys had one of your thing go up on it too. I remember you posted that. Yeah. I had a post once. It was basically like a girl in the streets, bro. Like she was crawling in the streets. Yeah.
And there was like a bunch of taxis trying to pass by and like cross the street, but she was just there on the floor, like crawling out, you know? So it's a mess, bro, but I love it.
Yeah. That's crazy. That means they party hard.
They do. They party so hard.
And it's like safe enough for them to be like, yeah, I could just kind of pass out on the street and I'll in the morning. You know?
That's why, bro. Like I passed out on the street a few times, man, and like I felt.
Do you ever like wake up in the morning and just like walk home?
In Hong Kong?
Yeah.
Or in general? In Hong Kong.
Like how long were you passed out for? Like, what if you just go to sleep?
No, I think I only had like 3 nights that were like really bad. And out of those nights, I feel like most times my friend would pick me up and then we'd like go back out. Yeah.
Give you some water and some gum.
Kind of. Maybe more alcohol or something, you know?
More alcohol, yeah.
I gotta talk about the alcohol too, by the way. So over there, you know how it works. Another thing that's really different from Hong Kong to Montreal is that when I was going out there, the dépanneurs, so they have 7-Elevens and K Circles and Circle K's, whatever.
Circle K,
Yeah, all those things. And they're open all night. And you can buy alcohol whenever you want.
24 hours?
24 hours.
Okay,
so that's what everyone did. You go out to clubs and then you don't want to spend money in the bars or clubs out there because for a shot, yeah, it's going to cost you about like $25 for a shot. Canadian, yeah. Like tip included.
For a shot?
For a shot, yeah. I remember once for my friend Eduardo, I was like, yo, bro, come have a shot with me, you know? This is my first shot, actually. And I bought him and I a shot. And the bill came up to like, I think it was like 400 to 500 Hong Kong dollars. I think 400 Hong Kong dollars. That was about like
what is that, yen?
No, it's called Hong Kong dollars.
Hong Kong dollars.
Conversion is 1 to 6.25.
Okay.
So basically 400, that's about like $65 Canadian,
Yeah.
just for like 2 shots. And then since then, bro, I will always go to like 7-Eleven, buy beer for like $1 or buy like a bottle of vodka for like $10.
Oh, you can buy vodka too.
Yeah, vodka, beer,
You get wine. Yeah.
soju, wine. Yeah.
Okay.
Super cheap, man.
How much would a bottle of like vodka be?
So let's say standard 28 ounce of absolute vodka.
Mhm.
It wasn't that much of a difference, but there was no taxes. But here either, there's no taxes.
Mhm.
I would say over there was about $20, I'd say. $22, I'd
But
say.
for a whole bottle.
Yeah, for a whole
versus
bottle.
shot.
Yeah. Oh, you mean at the club?
Yeah, like a club, your shot is $25, but at the dep, like a bottle is $25, right? Is that
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the
Okay.
dépanneur, if you want to buy, like, literally buy a whole bottle, the same price as a shot at the club.
Can
Which
you
is crazy.
You can't bring bottles in, obviously.
No, you can't,
So
unfortunately.
you just hide it outside somewhere?
Yeah, or just finish the whole thing one shot in.
Oh,
It was
shit.
fun, bro. It was a lot of fun.
Steve will do it.
Yeah, they all call me Steve over there, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Because of the full sense stuff?
Yeah, exactly. I actually lost my full sense stuff over there too.
Oh, yeah.
I lost a lot of things out there, man.
From,
Just like partying and all that.
Oh, yeah?
I lost like my speakers twice. Lost my tank top. Lost some shirts. Lost a lot, bro.
How'd you lose your clothes? Like the clothes that are on you or clothes?
Well, I think it was at let's say a beach party, and I would take off my shirt, and I guess I might just toss on the floor.
Yo, speaking of beach parties, I saw you DJing on a fucking yacht or a boat.
Yeah.
Was that part of like the clubs too?
No, that's more towards the exchange students, I would say.
Okay.
So the thing in Hong Kong is that there's a lot of boats out there to rent out.
Okay.
There's so many boats to rent that it's like not even that expensive.
How much would it cost to rent a boat?
Yeah, basically for like a whole day, they usually have like night shifts or day shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Day shifts would be from like, let's say 10 to 4-ish. Night would be more from like 5 to 9, 5 to 10.
Okay.
And in Canadian dollars, for that, it would cost about like $1,000 or $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, split it among you guys,
You're
it
a
would
bunch
cost
of
like
people,
$30 each, $40 each.
It comes with like a guy driving the boat?
Yes.
What do you call it? Fucking captain?
Captain, yeah.
Not a pilot?
No, captain.
Yeah, captain?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it comes with, okay, so he's like basically just driving you guys around the water.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, they have like a path when you kind of book the boat.
Yeah.
You kind of have options to which path you want to take. So you kind of imagine this compared to Montreal once again. You want to go to Old Port.
Mhm.
You start at Old Port. They'll say, oh, you want to go to, I don't know, like
Like Jean Gapo.
Jean Jalapo, or do you want to go to like Lachine, kind of Lachine?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go to like Longueuil? These are all horrible options, but like that's kind of what it is in Hong Kong. You get there.
You choose
Exactly.
your route, okay.
Exactly.
And
then
you don't
you-
care if you're drinking and partying on the...
No, that's the whole purpose of it, actually.
Oh, okay. So does
Yeah.
it come with like DJ gear and stuff?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so you guys set up like a speaker and like...
Exactly.
Oh, cool.
Exactly.
And did you guys like get into a relationship with like one of the pilots or like the captains?
The captains, no, it's very just like they're captains. Like
Okay.
they don't even own the boat most times. It's just
they're
working
doing
for it,
their
you
job.
know?
Yeah.
But I feel like playing off the boat parties, what happens is you meet so many people,
Mhm.
like a lot of people. And that's what happened. Like I would have like one boat party, and then I would from there get up to another boat party. And from there, I'd even get a gig at a fashion show.
Mhm.
And then from there, go to a gig at a
Fashion
restaurant.
show. What kind of music are you playing at a fashion show?
Like relaxed music,
Okay.
like housey vibe, like very like slow, deep house vibes.
Okay, cool.
Nothing crazy. Maybe some electronic like Darius, all that stuff.
Yeah.
hmm
That's dope. Shit. So you don't only do clubs, you did like fashion shows and other
Mhm.
stuff too. What else did you DJ?
So okay, boat parties,
Yeah.
clubs, bars, fashion shows, beach parties, island raves.
Mhm.
There's more. There's a few more actually.
Did you organize any yourself?
Yeah, I organized like some parties in the park though.
Okay.
Like we had like some at Tamar Park. Basically what happened was I would organize like a lot of parties, but like if the cops come basically and they want to know who the host is,
Mhm.
and if they figure out who the host is, like the host is fucked. Like you get like a fine of like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. So what I would do is I would like make these like kind of like these posts online, and I would say that the host is called like Bobby the Goat, like a random name, and then I would send it out to someone. And I'm like, oh yo, have you heard of this party? Yeah. But obviously it's my party. Yeah. And then I'm like, yo, just share the party, like, you know. Yeah. And then from there you'd have like a lot of people show up every time.
Sick.
Cops came up one time, and they actually asked who the host was, and they said, oh, Bobby the Goat. And they're like, okay, who's Bobby the Goat?
And they're just going around who's what.
Yeah, they couldn't figure it out, and they just like left after
but
that.
Like they're not gonna see and wait till like the person picks up their gear and walks away, you know, like because isn't it your stuff that's there?
Usually those parties are more just like small speakers. Okay, like those like JBL boombox type of thing, you know? No DJ set. Yeah. But I have organized one party on a yacht or a boat, whatever, and that one was like fine.
Okay. Did you go to any like house parties or anything?
You know, so the thing about Hong Kong is that there's not many houses. If you live in a house, because you're like stacking the fuck out, just for an apartment.
What about like aren't you in like student housing, like residence?
Yeah, so I was living kind of like in a Evo type of like student accommodation, and it's called Weave on Boundary. Okay. And what happened is like, it's always a party there also.
Yeah, you guys have the common.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what happens is like, let's say you would leave the club, Lang Feng, leave around like whatever time it is, you go back to Weave, and there's still a party going on.
Okay. Shit.
Like until like whatever time it is. Yeah. So it's like there's no break, bro. Honestly.
It's like those like basement locations in Montreal. You know those like basement like studios people rent out. Yeah. And you just go there like at all times. There's like some kind of rave going.
Yeah. I know what you mean, but it's a bit different. Yeah, kind of. Okay. Like that one, I compare it more to like it's a student accommodation. So it's actually like it's not like a basement vibe, but it's more like a nice like common room loungy vibe. Let's say. Okay. With a lot of lights and everything and students and. Honestly, the whole building hated us because like we were making noise like every fucking day. Yeah. And like there's one day my neighbor actually, Alex, he got super wasted and he went to there's 20 floors and every floor there's like letters from like A to J, let's say. Okay. And he was on 11J, but then accidentally he went to like 9J somehow and he tried opening the door, knocking the door, trying to open it up, but it was the wrong room. And that was like on the first night we were there. Okay. So since then, like woke somebody up basically. Yeah, and then since then, like everyone in that building hated all the exchange students. Yeah. It was kind of like two different vibes. And what happened was apparently that when most of us left, they all like celebrated that we were gone. They were all like happy that
they probably because you guys took their party spot.
Yeah, we took their party spot. We took their sleep. We took everything. Honestly.
Like all their luxuries. So after coming back from Hong Kong, like, were you happy to be back? Were you like, did you feel? Because like at the end of the day, Montreal is your home, right? But like, are you thinking of like staying here? Are you thinking of maybe moving there or going elsewhere and like exploring more locations and stuff?
I do think that, you know, you're born somewhere and a lot of people are like kind of inclined to staying where they're born because they're like kind of comfortable. They like the sense of comfort, you know? Yeah. But I like to get out of my box a lot. So that's the reason why I went to travel abroad, you know? I
respected that a lot. I was like,
of course.
That's really cool, especially like traveling somewhere alone. It's always such a like a eye opener and like you learn so much about yourself as well, you know? I see like by doing these things, you'll like actually figure out what you like more in life. And I feel like I've stayed in Montreal long enough and by traveling more, I got to see what I actually look for in a place. And I feel like Hong Kong is more my type of place than I would say Montreal is. What's your background nationally?
I'm Filipino and Iranian.
Wait, because how long were you in Hong Kong for?
Like 7 months.
Yeah, so like coming back from like a 7-month like trip where you're like kind of always on the go, everything's always different, and then coming back to Montreal for sure, like there's a lot of like resetting to do, you know?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people went through like a depression when they came back. And just
at least when you came back though, like things started opening up again.
At least you left at the right time, I think. I left when I went to Hong Kong when the lockdown started. Yeah. And I came back when things started to open up. So it's like perfect.
Bro, we were like, I was at like a house party with like, it was not even considered a house party. I would call it like a small chilling of like 6 people, okay? And like cops still pulled up to a 6 people party. Fuck. And they're like, yeah, I need everybody to go home except for the people that live here. And they like wait and they watch you take the Uber.
Oh, really?
So some of us we would just take the Uber around the corner and then get off and like hide and wait.
Okay, I see.
Me and my friend, like we just like ran through an alley and then like
of course
we went out to like a rooftop and we're just chilling there waiting for the cops to leave. And
of course. That's nice.
But like it's just like was crazy to see Montreal in such a weird state like that, where like we just couldn't even have like a small chilling at a place anymore. Like, you know, like I get it. Like they're trying to control the virus. And there's a lot of unknowns and shit, but it was just like interesting to see like a country like Canada and Montreal to like be at that state. You see what's possible, you know, like how much control is possible here. So
I see. Yeah.
it's interesting, you know.
You
But
see,
you definitely left at the right time.
No, for sure. But it's funny because like I feel like why they're so strict over here. Like they're trying to like be very
Authoritarian, yeah.
Authoritarian. They're trying to be very like that over here when COVID was happening, which is completely normal. And I find actually Hong Kong were being the same way, but in a better, more efficient, smarter way. And
but like how are they doing that?
well, okay, that's one thing. And also I find like the population itself was like they were also listening to the government a lot more.
Yeah, their attitude towards the government is different. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I stand with the whole mask thing, wearing a mask in public, but I feel like that might play a role in why the cases were so small. You have to wear a mask everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
But here we had people like going to events, this and that, parties, raves, whatever.
Yeah, that's like here it was kind of like the rules were so randomly placed. Like at least in Hong Kong, yeah, okay, you go to a club, you don't wear a mask, but like everywhere else, it's mandatory to wear a mask.
Right.
But like here it would be weird. It would be like you could wear a mask when you're like seated, you could take it off, but then you gotta wear it when you put it back on. Also, like we're also a society that's so used to not wearing masks that like we don't have the habit of always putting our masks on and stuff.
I see.
So automatically you're gonna like turn people away from wearing masks completely, and two, people are gonna like try to wear the mask as much as possible, but they're just so not used to it that they're gonna fuck it up eventually anyways. So
that's true.
I don't know if it was that effective, but definitely I could see how a mask could like prevent the spread of things, you know?
I think also because Hong Kong is not being a more strict place, whereas here it's more like laid back. So it's like when you implement a rule over there, they don't fuck around with it. They just go for it, you know?
It's like drastic. Here,
exactly.
You sort of like questioning. There's so much information online that you sort of questioning everything, and like the information you're getting could be wrong, could be right.
And so I think the whole stance of like having two positions where it's like you had anti-vaxxers, you had this and that, and it was just causing like all kinds of mayhem. Whereas Hong Kong acted as one city, one entity.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think that's just how things worked out better, you know?
Yeah, and it like seems like they're efficient about reopening things and everything.
Exactly.
So when you left, was everything back to normal there basically?
It's still like not 100% back to normal. There's still a few things that's missing out. There's no like music festivals. There's no big events, like sporting events, so on and so forth. But it's like, I would say about like, aside from that, it's like 90% back to normal.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I would definitely want to visit a place like Hong Kong. It's really interesting. Especially because like all the information I have on Hong Kong is so like skewed. I feel because like now that I have your point of view, like it's opening my eyes up more.
Of course.
But like I was talking about WeChat before. Did you use WeChat?
No, some people did.
Okay.
We use more like WhatsApp.
But like, what about the internet? Like, can you go on like Google?
You could, yeah.
Okay. And like, what's the browser you're using?
Well, I mean, I was using Chrome.
Okay, you can use Chrome.
Yeah, you can use Chrome. I think most people use Chrome. Some people use like DuckDuckGo.
Right. Can you access certain websites? Like, can you just like, if you were to type in like facebook.com, would it appear?
You could, yeah, it would work.
Okay.
Hong Kong, it works. Everything's good there. Most things, yeah.
Everywhere else where it won't work.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Can you take Ubers in there? Shit there?
Yeah, you could take Ubers.
Okay.
It's so cheap there too, man, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Ubers, it comes out, like, I think here it's always like minimum like $7. There it's always like, I think minimum's like, there's like no minimum actually.
Oh shit.
So it would cost like $2-3 an Uber sometimes.
Damn, yeah, that's like, well, I'm in the West, so like if I ever come from downtown, it's always like $40-50 minimum.
Exactly. And there it's very small too, right? Yeah. So it's very condensed. I think the worst Uber I've paid there was probably like $30. That's like for like a big Uber. No, actually, no, I lied. There were some times where we took Ubers from like, cause Hong Kong actually, it's separated. You have like the new island, Hong Kong Island.
Yeah.
Where all the expats are at, where the nightlife's at. It's very new, more modern, this and that. Then you have the old school Hong Kong, kind of like Kowloon side. So there it's more like old school. You have older buildings, very historic. My school was there. And on top you have new territories. That's where all the mountains are at, the houses, beaches and all that. So if you were to take an Uber from like new territories to like let's say Hong Kong Island. So you're basically going from like one side of Hong Kong to the other,
Yeah.
which we have done after hikes.
Mhm.
That would cost about like, still not too bad actually. Maybe like $30-$40, I'd say.
Okay, yeah. That's
It's not bad at all, to be honest.
Yeah, it's really good. So now that you're back, what are your plans in Montreal? Like, how long are you gonna stay? When are you gonna leave? Because it seems like you want to go travel again.
Yeah. So right now I'm finishing up with school,
Right. What program are you in?
computer science.
Computer science. Okay.
So just finishing up with that. And my plan would be, to go back there by August or September
Okay.
and probably work in my tech field and then DJ on the side.
Okay.
That's the plan. It's kind of like a night, like I don't mind doing 9 to 5.
Yeah.
When I first started working out, let's say, at a job, very low on tax, like no taxes even, I would say.
Yeah.
So, and the growth for salary is very, very fast.
Okay.
So I'd go there. It's very competitive though. That's the thing. Very, very competitive. So I'd go there, work it out for a few years, see how it goes, DJ on the side. And with that, I think it'd be like a perfect plan.
Okay, dope.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes.
Mhm.
But for while you're in Montreal, are you still doing DJ gigs and stuff?
Yeah, for sure. We're getting in touch with a few clubs, actually, a few bars and everything.
Okay.
We're getting in touch with like Newspeak. We had a gig last week at the GMSB event,
Mhm.
for Halloween.
How was
Yeah.
the GMSB event?
Amazing.
Yeah. Well,
So
what
much
was
fun.
the location?
Jardin Royal Mount.
Ah, okay.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it, but
Mhm.
I can't really picture what it looks like. But...
It's a beautiful venue, near the Julep. I've never even seen it before. I think it's new.
It's to carry?
Right behind it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a huge, like, it's super nice.
Okay, sick.
And I would say it's probably like one of the best venues I played at in Montreal, if not the best venue I played here.
Especially because it's all students, GMSV students.
Exactly.
Bro, every event I see, like all the stories,
Mm.
I just see a bunch of fucking like hot ass, like minimum like 8 on 10 girls
Yeah.
just, like all around you fucking vibing.
Fuck, bro. Dude, the thing is, like, Hong Kong, they love their DJs. Like, you could be like a millionaire.
Bro,
There's-
anywhere, like, because you're, as a DJ, think about it, you're like controlling a crowd. You're like,
No, for
center of
sure.
attention, you know? So like,
But, yeah.
automatically, like,
No, but they love their like, I mean, everywhere it's the same, like everywhere for sure.
But there it's like a little like,
Yeah, like they're literally like buying you bottles, bro. Like they're buying you everything, man. They're inviting you to the best parties, bro.
yeah.
Inviting you to like mansion parties, like every night, bro. Like that's the thing, bro. Compared to all the other exchange students,
You've been to a mansion party in Hong Kong?
yeah. And these mansions are worth like at least like 50 mil, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the viewpoint,
Yeah.
the top.
Yeah.
There was one guy who had like a mansion party out there,
Yeah.
and
He like owned the place? Or
He owned the place,
oh,
yeah.
Shit, okay.
they say in Hong Kong there's like one out of every 150 people. It's about like 0.67%.
Mhm.
They have a net worth of over 5 million USD.
Nah.
It's a very rich city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
So that's
Yeah,
why everything's so expensive there, you know?
Yeah,
It's very dense. Everyone wants to live there. And yeah, there was a few mansion parties out there that I did one mansion party. I did a few yacht parties, and it's just like people there are so fucking rich, bro.
Mhm.
And it's like they're so generous too.
Yeah.
I don't
So
like
have fun.
exactly. And to be honest with you, bro, like I'm not like if they're offering you things, bro, like I'm not gonna say no, you know?
Mhm.
Like they're offering me like bottles, offering me like free like this guy offered me like a free like yacht for like a night, whatever.
Mhm.
Just me and a few friends used to pay
Yeah.
for it and stuff, you know, like they're
Wow.
very generous, man. Very, very generous out there. Dude, it's literally like my city, bro, to be in.
Yeah, it's
Like not saying I want to be doing that for my
but
whole
it's
life.
Like, yeah,
but
yeah. You just feel like you belong there, right?
exactly. Like it was just but the thing is like people were passing out there not because they were drinking a lot. Well, that's one reason,
Mhm.
but they would also pass out because a mixture of too much alcohol and humidity, you just like faint, bro.
Right.
And to be honest, like me in Montreal, I would never like, even though I'm very, very, very drunk, I would not like end up on the floor.
Mhm.
It like happened like, it's very, very rare. Maybe like once my whole life.
I mean, I've seen it.
You've probably seen it. Yeah, of course. But there, like I would always see people on the streets and like, bro, are they all like this weak, you know?
Mhm.
But actually myself, when I would get super drunk, I would also like let on the floor. So I'm like, fuck, it's so hot. I'm like just
yeah,
like
for sure.
melting.
The temperature has a huge thing.
It does, bro. And for me, that's like my main concern of Hong Kong is just the heat out there.
Yeah.
When I got there in February,
I'd rather that than the fucking winters here.
no, I think I'd rather have the winters here than the
Yeah?
summers. Yeah, it's really bad, bro.
Oh my God.
Like when I got there and I got out of the hotel in February is like equivalent to like July here. And then it kept getting hotter and hotter. And I had some like, at some point, some like, job interviews out there
Yeah.
for like internships or whatever, part-time jobs.
Right.
And I would wear just a black long sleeve. And when I would get there,
You're just wet.
I'd be drenched in sweat, bro.
Nah, yeah, that's annoying.
It's annoying, bro. And I feel like It might be because of like the weight I have,
And
or
your body didn't get used to it at all?
a little bit.
Usually, like, that's what happens. You go to a hot place, it's like that at first because you're so used to your current
Mhm.
climate. But eventually your body kind of adapts.
I would, but the thing is, when I got there in February, I like adapted to it, but then it
Yeah.
kept getting hotter and hotter. So like
Okay,
those
yeah,
two,
yeah,
I couldn't catch up to it, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like if I do go back there and I'm there for a few years, I might adapt to it.
For sure.
For sure, yeah, for sure.
Especially now with the COVID vaccine, you'll probably be good.
Exactly, yeah, yeah.
You become a chameleon.
Yeah, chameleon.
All right, bro. Well, appreciate you coming.
A pleasure, bro.
I love you, bro.
Love you too, mate.
I'm excited to see what comes in the future, and you're definitely going to be coming back on after your second trip to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Stories.
I'll be in 5 years then, but okay.
Yeah. This is going to be going forever, bro.
Yeah,
Going
good.
until I'm 75 with a bionic.
I like that. Bionic dick.
Bionic balls.
Just the way I like it.